Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor Nichavater and I have a book haul for you. Yes, I bought more books. Sue me. Can't be stopped. Quite a few of these books are books to help me continue on with series I've already started, so that's my justification. And I think I'm just going to get started. And I've bought all these books secondhand. Most of them were bought from the world of books, and one book in particular I'll show I bought in a charity shop. So the first book I bought was the C Quartet by Ursula Le Guin. If you saw recently, I read A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin, and it's a single little copy of the book here, just book one. I really wanted to continue with the series, but it was cheaper to buy the 4-book bind-up than to buy the 3 books subsequently. So I just bought this, and I'll maybe get rid of my other copy of Earthsea. And I've already started reading this. I've been buddy reading it with Connor, and we've just started the 4th book. And I'm really enjoying it. I don't think I'll go too much into detail about what all these books are about, or this will be a very long book haul. This is a classic fantasy series set in the made-up world of Earthsea, where there's a lot of magic, and yeah, it's an interesting world. The next book I bought was The Cauldron of Life by Caroline Logan, a 4 Treasures novel, and this is book 2 in the series. I just finished book 1 and I have my book review up for that. I'll leave it linked below. And I'm this far into it already and I'm thoroughly enjoying this book too. It's in a different direction from book 1 and it just is so action-packed, and I'm really enjoying this series. And I'm going to be gutted that I have to wait until later on in the year to get book 3. And then even longer to wait for book 4. The next book I bought was Strata by Terry Pratchett, and this is one of Terry Pratchett's science fiction novels that doesn't have anything to do with the Discworld. I've only read Terry Pratchett's Discworld novels and a couple of his books written for younger readers. I've not read any of his science fiction, but I have wanted to give them a go and see how different they are compared to his Discworld books. I don't really know what this is about. It looks like it's got a bit to do with dinosaurs and flat earth. Could be totally wrong, but I'm intrigued to see what this is about. The next book is The Book of Coley by M.R. Carey. I don't really know what this is about too much, but I really loved The Girl with All the Gifts and The Boy on the Bridge and Fellside by M.R. Carey. So when I saw his new series, I had to give it a go because I loved his other books. So I'm just hoping I like this one too. So I bought the first book of this series. Yeah, I think it's dystopian and about a forest that's got deadly things in the forest. And it's all about survival is the gist I'm getting from it. And I'm excited to read this series as well. The next book I bought was Battle Royale by Koshin Takami. And I've wanted to read this for a long time. This is the book that Suzanne Collins' Hunger Games drew inspiration from, but this is a much, much bloodier version set in Japan, and this is a translated book. I recently saw Connor do a review of this book and read it. I'll leave that linked below, and it made me really want to read it as well. He did struggle with it, I believe, but it is a book I've wanted to read for a long time, and I didn't quite appreciate how massive a book it was, but I'm excited to pick this up at some point as well and see how much of the Hunger Games was pulled from this or how much they differ. I love a very violent and intense story. The next books I got were The Day Watch and The Twilight Watch by Sergei Lukyanenko, which is books 2 and 3 in the Night Watch trilogy, which isn't actually a trilogy anymore, but it was a trilogy to begin with. I read The Night Watch a few months ago and really enjoyed it and was looking to continue on with the series. So when I saw them for secondhand, I picked them up. But I hate, again, these massive paperbacks. They're the size of hardbacks. I really dislike them. They don't match any of my other books, and I've got a few of them now, and I really, really hate them. I've got another one coming up in this haul as well. These are like the only books that I would ever consider rebuying a different edition of the book. I just really hate them, which is really petty, I know. And I think these books just continue on with that first book left off. It was such an interesting paranormal fantasy story set in Moscow, and again another translated work, and I'm really intrigued by translated books and want to read more of them. You just get such a different perspective, and this series set in Moscow was fascinating, and a very dark, complicated magic system and things like that. And yeah, really enjoyed it and can't wait to continue reading the series. Here's the other ugly large paperback, and it is Killer Instinct by James Patterson. Recently I read Murder Games by James Patterson, and this is the second book in that kind of duology. I don't think he's written any more. We're following a kind of Ivy League professor who's written a book on kind of abnormal behaviour, and he gets roped in to work some detective work when his talents become relevant to a case. The first book was fast paced and was very much felt like the TV show, and like it was made to be adapted into a TV show. I first heard about the book because I loved the TV show Instinct that ran for 2 seasons before it was cancelled, and this is how I thought would be a good entry into me reading more detective books, because I don't really read mystery fiction, and certainly not from a kind of policing, official police capacity, angle I should say. The first book was good. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but I liked the characters, fast paced, and it reminded me of the TV show, so I thought I would just get the second book and finish off that little arc, and yeah, just mix up my reading a bit. The next book I bought was The Ladies of Grace Adieu and Other Stories by Susanna Clarke, and I'm really excited to read this. I thoroughly enjoy short story collections, and my favourite book of 2020 was Piranesi, I don't know if you can see it just out of shot there, by Susanna Clarke. And I have bought a Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but that book is humongous, and you have to be in a certain kind of mood to be ready to sit down and read that. And I will get to it at some point, but I'm excited to read her short stories. And then I was very excited to find this paperback version of Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. I really enjoyed reading The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen by Alan Moore, and I've always wanted to read Watchmen. Many moons ago I watched the film and really enjoyed it. Probably watched it a bit too young. A lot of it was above my head the first time I saw it anyway. And I enjoyed the story. It was very much different to kind of other superhero films. They were very much kind of the anti-hero kind of arc. It was very dark. And I've wanted to read the comic. But as you know, these can get really expensive. So I was very excited to find this copy, and I hope to get to it soon. And then the last book I bought in a charity shop, actually my boyfriend bought it for me, I'm very lucky, was Leviathan Weeks by James S.A. Coley, and it's the first book in the Expanse series. I've seen a lot of people on BookTube reading this series lately. I think it's a very long running series, and it's science fiction, and I'm really getting into my science fiction and really enjoying it. And this is like a big series that I could get into if I like the first one. So humanity has colonised the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. And I assume this series is called the Expanse series, so it's about humanity going further. And yeah, I would love a epic sci-fi series to sink my teeth into if I enjoy this book. It is a chunker, and I'm hoping I like it. So that's my book haul. I don't even know if you can see all the books in this frame. Yeah, I thought I'd treat myself to some books, and I don't feel too bad because I got them all secondhand, so they were a fraction of the price. And I like buying most of my books that way because it makes my book hobby affordable for me. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think of them, what books I should prioritise. I would love to have a chat with you in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.